Good evening, everyone. We're going to start shortly, but I'd like to draw your attention to a few logistical items. First of all, the emergency exits are clearly marked in the event of an emergency. Restrooms are available on the pad behind the home bleachers. We ask that you please put your cell phones on vibrate. And finally, just a reminder that the ceremony is not only for our seniors, but for all the families of the class of 2014. We ask that there be a dignity and a sense of decorum associated with this ceremony. Therefore, we ask that you please not let individual things detract. Screaming after someone's name is unnecessary. Tasteful applause and even a mild cheer are natural, but in the cases where the celebration's duration causes the next graduate's name not to be heard, it is unfair to that senior as well as their family. Enjoy the ceremony, and again, we'll be starting shortly. Thank you. Please remain standing and join me in the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner by our senior choir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Once again, good evening. I'm Bill Rooney, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to these 145th commencement exercises for the Attleboro High School class of 2014. I am very pleased to have this opportunity to welcome our honored guests. I would ask that you please hold your applause. State Senator Richard Ross, State Representative Paul Hero, Mayor Kevin J. Dumas, School Committee Chair David Murphy, school committee members Lori Scales, William Larson, Diane Sawyer, Julianne Singer, Jim Storrs, Michael Tyler, Stephen Withers, and Francis Zito. We are joined by municipal council members, President Frank Cook, and Councilwoman Heather Perica. Our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Kenneth Sheehan, Assistant Superintendent David Sawyer, Director of Special Education, Marissa McCarthy, Business Manager Thomas Rose, Director of Student Services Joan DeAngelis. The Attleboro High School Administration and Senior Class Staff, Assistant Principal Joseph Connor, Assistant Principal Gene Hickox, Career and Technical Education Director Susan Edmonds, Network Program Director Timothy Richmond, Events Manager, and the reason why we have such a beautiful ceremony tonight, Colleen Neslin, Senior Class Advisors Carla Hodges and Darby Sawyer, and attending his last graduation before he rides off into the sunset in January, our School Resource Officer Bob Hale. Also tonight, we have with us members of the Attleboro High School faculty, building administrators and faculty from the rest of the Attleboro Public Schools, friends, family, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2014. I'm so proud to stand before all of you tonight to celebrate this graduating class. I'd like to thank Mayor Dumas, members of the Municipal Council, Mr. Murphy, and members of the Attleboro School Committee, Mr. Sheehan, Mr. Sawyer, and their staff in the central office for their presence tonight. We are also joined tonight by our partners in your educational success, the administrative teams from our elementary and middle schools who have prepared you so well. I thank you all for your support. Graduates, in so many ways, tonight is a culmination of your growth, perseverance, and success. The faculty, staff, and I join your parents, family, and friends tonight in celebration of you. But your real commencement begins later this evening when you officially become AHS alumni, a moniker that is an honor, but more importantly, a responsibility. I'd like to take one opportunity to share some advice and offer some encouragement one last time before you leave this campus. Growing up, there was a very large canvas at my home that hung over our fireplace. It featured a weathered desk, a cup of coffee, and a journal scribed with the following quote from one of the leaders of the American Romantic movement, Henry David Thoreau. He says, "Pursue some path, however narrow and crooked, in which you can walk with love and reverence." I reflect on this quote often and for a variety of reasons. Thoreau calls us to journey with love and reverence, but doesn't tell us how to attain them or where that path leads. I know that each of you will pursue your own unique path when you leave AHS tonight, and I can only hope and pray that your journey is directed by love and reverence towards love and reverence. Tonight is a milestone on your journey, a time for you to look where you've been and glance ahead to where you're going. You have arrived at this wonderful and perhaps terrifying moment where you must be your own guide. This may seem like a scary thought, but don't let it be. While it is true that you are embarking on a new path, where you are headed is deeply rooted in where you have been. You have journeyed these 18 years surrounded by the love and support of your family, teachers, faculty, friends, all of whom have helped shape you into the person that you are today. These influences are what will ground you and inspire you as you make decisions about your future, as you decide what path of your own to pursue. Be mindful of the experiences and the relationships that have shaped you into the person that you are today, and be thankful for them. Reflect on the strength of your formation, a process with many contributors and the central element of pride. Pride in yourself, pride in your school, and pride in your city. I'm confident that your education in Attleboro has challenged you and supported you, made you intellectually competent and curious, made you loving and open, and furthered your relationship with others. This foundation should give you confidence not only today, but into next year, as well as for the rest of your life. You are ready to journey into the greater world and transform it into something more just and compassionate. Undoubtedly, your path will be difficult at times. When it is, listen to the voice inside you, the one formed by your family, your friends, your education. Keep your belief in yourself close, not only for comfort, but as your guide. It will always point you in the right direction. And being true to yourself means being true to those who shaped and guided you. In those moments of indecision, know that you are never alone. When it is difficult to find your way, the strength of those who have brought you this far will be your strength moving forward. May the foundations you've received in these 12-plus years remind you to be proud of your roots, to stick to the path that leads to success. Strive to lead a life of passion, joy, and service with an openness to the call of your heart. That way, you will walk with love for what you do and reverence for why you do it. The very reason why the windshield is always bigger than the rearview mirror. See the big picture rather than focus on the minor details of the past. In a matter of minutes, it is unlikely that your entire class will ever be together again in one place. However, it is my hope that with the influence of the personal responsibility instilled in you from Attleboro High School, you will all be together as you walk with confidence down your paths. In closing, I want to share one more reason why Attleboro High School is the place to be. There is a quote from civil rights activist Audre Lorde that states, "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." Your unity as a class dispels that theory. You appreciate one another for who you are. Walking these halls, we have students who have challenges, students who may have different beliefs from one another, basically, students who are not cut from a cookie-cutter mold. And each day, you don't show tolerance, you aren't accepting of one another. No, genuinely, you appreciate one another for who you are, and you have grown as individuals based on that understanding of one another. That is what makes me proud to be a parent in this school and humbled to be your principal. So to you, class of 2014, on behalf of the leaders here with me tonight and your family and supporters in the stands, we extend our gratitude for making sense of the past, bringing peace for today, and give us hope for tomorrow. And in closing, I challenge you to make your indelible Blue Pride mark with all that you do. Congratulations. You have been a blessing to me. I love you all. Thank you. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce the Mayor of the City of Attleboro, Mr. Kevin J. Dumas.
Good evening and welcome all to this wonderful, beautiful evening here at the Attleboro High School Stadium. And as Mayor of the City of Attleboro, I'm honored to be a part of this evening's commencement ceremony. First and foremost, congratulations to the class of 2014. We join you tonight with your family and your friends in the joy of your accomplishment. So thank you to Superintendent Sheehan, the school committee, Principal Rooney, all the faculty and staff, family and relatives that have influenced your lives and has led you to this very day. We as a city have provided the foundation for your education. However, it's now up to you to learn to excel in your own lives. Please be mindful of how important it is for you to set your own goals and objectives that you want to achieve. And I want you to know that you have the ability to accomplish anything that you set out to do. It's important for you to know that you are the one responsible for your actions and for your successes. And above all, the future is in your hands. I remember very well sitting in your seat 20 years ago, almost to this very day. I recall vividly my excitement in what was to be the new road in my life and what my future hurdles would be. In my first 4 years after Attleboro High School were the most that I had grown at that portion of my life as a young adult. So my words to you as you leave here, be focused. Take time to reflect and to plan. Don't always get caught up in the handheld devices with the instantaneous gratification of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But live life well. It's more than a device that's planted in your hands. Enjoy the beautiful, meaningful relationships that you will carry with you throughout your life. Value them in the people that you encounter along life's journey. As you leave these doors here at AHS, may you never forget the importance of reaching out and helping others during your adult life. For every time acts of kindness are done by you, it makes our community and world a better place for all. And I can only imagine what great deeds that all of you will do in our world. So as your community leader, I wish you the very best. Take all of the treasured experiences here in the Attleboro Public School System during your school years and go out to the world and succeed. And I'm going to leave you with a quote as follows. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it. So once again, my sincerest congratulations to all of you, to this class of 2014. All of the best to you in your future endeavors. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Dumas. Now it is with great pleasure that I introduce the Superintendent of the Attleboro Public Schools, Mr. Kenneth Sheehan.
Good evening, Mayor Dumas, members of the school committee, public officials, honored guests, administrators, teachers, parents, friends, and mostly important, the Attleboro High School graduating class of 2014. Before addressing the graduates, I would like to recognize some people who have made this day possible. First, I would like to recognize the parents and guardians. Thank you so very much for helping these graduates reach this most important milestone in their lives. I know at times it hasn't been easy, but you have managed through it. So today, when your child walks across this stage, please take solace in the fact that without you, this day would not have been possible. I would also like to acknowledge the graduates' teachers. Many teachers have guided these young adults through difficult and challenging times, while at the same time instilling in them the love of learning and a sense of pride in themselves. I salute all of those teachers who have had a positive influence on the lives of these graduates. And now to the 145th Attleboro High School graduating class. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to congratulate you for your achievements and your success while at Attleboro High School. All of you will never forget this day and time. Most of you will take with you some unforgettable moment about your senior year. But history has not forgotten you either. Let us not forget, while you were seniors, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series at home for the first time in 95 years. I think they did that for you. Let us not forget that this graduating class, 2014, was the first to walk, play, and enjoy the Tozier Cassidy Athletic Complex. And let us not forget that one of the most significant, powerful, influential statesmen of the world passed away this year, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela embodied a spirit of how human beings should treat other human beings. And with this same spirit, this graduating class reflects the aspirations, dedication, involvement, and teamwork that also makes dreams come true. Individually, you have left your mark at this school, and collectively, you leave us as the graduating class of 2014. This celebration today may be viewed by some as an end of 12 years of hard work, but to others, it's a beginning as well. So let me suggest to you that your 12 years of hard work was not to prepare you for an end, but rather to prepare you for a new chapter in life. Part of this new chapter is one of being an adult. Wow, that's scary in itself. With this new status, you will be given many rights and privileges, but it also brings many responsibilities and demands. The completion of your studies and graduation requirements over the past 12 years have prepared you to accept these new responsibilities and meet these demands. So, take what you have learned and use it wisely. Use it to meet new challenges. Use it to motivate yourself. Use it to enrich your young lives. Use it and learn from the past so that you may build a bright and prosperous future. All of us here today wish you much success. And now it is time for you to be part of a new generation of Americans that will make positive contributions to their community, their country, and the world as a whole. In conclusion, destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. It is not an entity to wait for. It is an entity to be achieved. So whatever you aspire to do your very best. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Sheehan. Now please welcome the President of the Student Council, Amanda Alfani.
Good evening and welcome, staff, administration, Superintendent Sheehan, school committee, Mayor Dumas, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, guardians, and last but certainly not least, class of 2014. Last year, John Gyra did everyone a huge favor. It was both student council president and valedictorian, which meant there was one less speech we all had to sit through. Unfortunately, I was unable to beat Brandon Clark for the valedictorian position this year and cut down the speeches by one as John did. So I promise I will try to not bore all of you to sleep. To be completely truthful with all of you, I didn't know what to say this evening. I didn't know what I wanted to share with you graduates and your families, never mind how I was going to say it. I could have Googled inspirational quotes or Dr. Seuss's famous lines, but I figured I would tell you guys something no one has ever gotten off the internet. Attleboro High School, you are great. Many of you have complained about the textbooks being too old. Did you even open them? The bathrooms smelling weird, and A building being way too hot in the summer. But we all just seem to forget the good things. The fact that we only had to pay $35 for our senior cruise while being paid $75, and the fact that we even have a cruise. The fact that we don't have to pay to park in our parking lot like North has to. The fact that we have a pool, ignore the fact that it doesn't have water in it right now. And many, many other things. We've excelled in so many ways, whether it be in drama, sports, academics, or art. And yes, we all reserve the right to be proud and remember it forever. Our teachers have always said, these guys are something special. They're going to do really incredible things. Literally since my 5th grade school year, my teachers have always passed on the word to us last year. We are one of the best classes they've ever had. Honestly, they weren't wrong. However, let's not stop there. Don't let high school be your peak, and especially don't let it be the only thing you tell your kids about one day. Trying something new and foreign can be scary though. Stepping out of your comfort zone, the place you spend hours practicing at, can be daunting. Just like when I started this speech, you might not know where to begin when you leave the walls of the school or the borders of Attleboro. But don't let the fear of the unknown keep you back. Don't let the fear of failing at Zumba or not knowing anyone orientation keep you from throwing yourself out into the world. Failing, after trying your very hardest, is just part of the process. And it's what so many of us fear most and keeps us from braving what we don't know. But what rescues greatness from mediocrity is finding the courage to try again, and again, and again, until you earn your success. So, Attleboro High School class of 2014, keep making us proud. I don't have a memorable quote to leave you with, or anything witty you'll remember 20 years from now. Instead, all of you do something that scares you. Do something you'll remember when we all meet again. For I promise you, you will continue to be great. Congratulations, graduates. We did it.
have a backup microphone. Okay. The only problem is you have to hold it. And now it's time for our salutatory address. Please welcome the salutatorian of the class of 2014, Elizabeth Clifton. Yeah, hold it.
Good evening, Mayor Dumas, Superintendent Sheehan, Principal Rooney, members of the school committee, Attleboro Public Schools, teachers and staff, friends, family, and most importantly, the Attleboro High School class of 2014. You know, when I first sat down to write this speech, I had no idea what to say. I mean, I'm not even a legal adult yet, so how much wisdom can I really impart? But then I thought about it, and I realized the real reason for my apprehension with this speech. This speech is the last assignment, if you will, I have to do at Attleboro High School. And when I finish it and get my diploma, that's it. We're really done here. And finishing high school marks the end of an era. Everything's changing right now, but that isn't a bad thing. Sure, moving on from high school is a bit intimidating, but 4 years ago, probably the scariest thing to most of us was starting high school. I know it was for me, but then again, I had Miss Rosa freshman year, so there's that. Having spent 4 years here, Attleboro has transformed from an intimidating building with a 4th floor pool to a second home for us. But there's this quote, and I promise this is the only inspirational quote I'll throw at you guys tonight. The quote says, "A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there." The only way to truly grow as a person is to leave your comfort zone, to push your limits, and to discover new things. In terms of our class, we've grown so much while at AHS, but we've now grown comfortable here. So to go further, we must all leave our comfort zone and once again find ourselves in an unfamiliar place. Like I said before, this is scary, but I know we'll excel at whatever we do in the future because AHS has taught us so much and will always carry the things we learned here. By taking some of Attleboro with us, we can face the world with the confidence that the awesome Attleboro High School class of 2014 should rightfully have. While at AHS, I received a piece of advice that has changed the way I look at life. That was the best way to live your life is by giving back to others. Seeing many of you give up your time at this year's Special Olympics has inspired me to dedicate myself to doing the same. And seeing the good that we, as a class, can do has been so rewarding. One of the greatest things I saw there, and at AHS in general, was the degree of the acceptance that you have for others. Acceptance is a rare thing, and being able to spend the past 4 years with such a kind and wonderful group of people has been rewarding. I could stand up here and tell you just how meaningful it is to accept others, or spout off a metaphor about how snowflakes are all different but all still beautiful, but you don't need to hear that. These 4 years, I've seen you help others through volunteering, assisting those in need, and just being kind people. And I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Watching you all work hard to excel at everything you do, whether it be school, sports, or clubs, has shown me the value of dedication and has taught me that hard work pays off. Looking at all your faces, I can see so many examples of this. But tonight, I'll only make you listen to one of those stories. 2 years ago, while playing a basketball game for AHS, a team of mine was sprinting down court when she turned and tore her ACL. After surgery and countless hours of rehabilitation, She was cleared to play basketball again, but that did not mean she was the same player that she'd been before the injury. She had to rebuild her strength and her speed and learn how to play with her surgically repaired knee. I watched her spend hours, days even, in the gym lifting weights to build muscle and doing agility drills to increase her speed, all while still doing rehab to strengthen her new ligament. Even though she was unable to play either of her last 2 seasons at AHS, she came to every practice and every game to cheer on the rest of the team. She is the epitome of blue pride and hard work. Although she did not get to play again for Attleboro High School, her hard work paid off and gave her an opportunity that most high school athletes only dream of: college athletics. Now, after 2 years of backbreaking work, she continues to play the game she loves in college, and for that, she is such an inspiration to me. She has shown me that hard work does pay off in the end. You're all yet another example of hard work paying off. You know, receiving your high school diploma is no small thing. You spent more than 2,200 days in a classroom, turned in thousands of homework assignments, taken at least 100 tests, and the culmination of that is tonight when you receive a single piece of paper with your name printed on it in fancy font that signifies, "I did it." Well, congratulations, class of 2014. You did it. You've all shown me that if we want to achieve something, we can with hard work and determination. We'll always carry these lessons with us as we move beyond high school. Perhaps most importantly, you've shown me that the AHS class of 2014 is the best class to walk the halls of any high school ever. Thank you all for everything you've done to help me and the rest of our class these past 4 years, and best of luck in all that you do in the future.
And now please welcome the valedictorian of the class of the 2014 of Attleboro High School, Brandon Clark.
I'm gonna go insane if I talk with that tassel in my face. Nothing to do with the 5-pound circuit board on top. First of all, many of you know that today is the 70th anniversary of remembering the soldiers that fought on the beaches of Normandy for our freedom. I'd like to thank all the veterans, active members, and students in our class who are going into the military, who make days like this possible in our country. Thank you. I wanted to do this speech justice today and attack it with the same drive and determination I saw from you through these 4 years. So naturally, I wrote it at 11 last night. I'd like to start off by saying that this is an amazing honor that you guys get to hear me speak today. I spent countless hours wondering how I would be able to describe standing in front of so many people with whom I have grown so much, but I still think I can't describe it. You know what? I don't want any of this to seem scripted, so I'm going to talk to you guys straight from the heart. You guys thought I was really gonna do that? Here we go. Seniors, faculty, overly emotional parents, uncles who were told not to come but showed up anyway, and people on the tennis courts who are interrupted by a nerdy pubescent voice. You all are here today because these special people have made it through some serious challenges and are now graduating high school as the class of 2014. Going off that tremendous realization, I thought that 14 is kind of a boring number. Not much is associated with it. So I came up with some associations that might make our graduating year a little more exciting. We could be the class of Mr. Hodges' supposed age. The class of how many senior pranks were dreamt up and failed. The class of how many of Sarah's hairstyles I had to tell I enjoyed. Thanks for putting up with me. The class of how many razors Miss Sawyer went through today, but even that might be too low. Make that feet, and you get the class of how tall Scott Freelander. Make that inches, and you have the class of how tall Owen Bakiaki is. Multiply that by 10, and you probably get the class of votes Dan Mazzero still got for class president freshman year, even though he told everyone not to vote for him. Yes, we have made many fond memories over our years, but we've overcome some daunting challenges as well. I'd like to commend you all for surviving the Mayan calendar ending, the Harlem Shake, selfies, and that which should not be mentioned, twerking. On a much less scary note, I want to talk about what got you all to this point. You have spent over 113,000 hours of your life dedicated to receiving a small piece of paper and moving a little cat toy over a beautifully geometric hat. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. These traditions are so ridiculous. I'm missing dance moms right now. And why does the geek at the podium look redder than a kid who peed his pants? Well, I obviously have no idea how that would feel. Seriously though, I can't do much for the latter two gripes. But for the first, I know these traditions are ridiculous. They're ridiculous not only because we all look like we're about to sing in a church choir, but because they illustrate the belief to others that receiving this piece of paper marks an instant where we become set for the real world compared to how we were just a short time ago when our theoretical mental tassels were just sitting over on the right during our years of high school. I know you guys know this, but the world is tougher than that perfect picture. It is full of trials and tribulations that we don't even know exist yet. There are not many people that will have your back and push you towards success like the staff at AHS do for you day in and day out. In the words of someone who is quite admired around school and definitely is a veteran of the world, Will Ferrell summed up the tragic hardships of life nicely when he said, "You're about to enter a world where you ask your new assistant Jamie to bring you a tall, non-fat latte, and he comes back with a soy cappuccino. Guess what, Jamie? You're fired." The fact remains, our safety nets will all be pulled away in the next couple of weeks, while our hairnets will be pulled on for a summer at McDonald's. Afterwards, we'll be out trying to find our way in life, whether it be struggling through college, the military, or the workforce. Our decisions will be completely our own, and they'll dictate our futures forever. Now, I also know that you have all heard the rules and character traits needed to succeed in life from people older and more experienced than I am. But maybe you don't believe that you have it in you to keep all those rules straight. Therefore, all I want to do is leave you with what I've seen from you guys in my time. And maybe you'll see that you do have what it takes. When I was a freshman, this was my first taste of public schooling. I had no idea what to expect, seeing intimidating seniors with such foreign aspects as muscles and beards roaming these halls, and even scarier than that, seeing high school females. I felt like the odd man out. However, this class, little by little, showed me that my high school experience could be truly memorable. You guys took me in and helped me every step of the way, and your efforts helped me find the confidence in myself that I never knew I had. You guys inspired me to find my passions as I saw the truly amazing things that you do with the many skills you have. I mean, you do drama, sports, music, academics, leadership roles, and that's just Scott Freelander. That's 2 Scott jokes in one speech. I probably should have proofread this thing. I can honestly say, though, that my presence up here is as much a testament to the character, abilities, and effort of this senior class as it is to anything else. I'm up here today because of a single number, but I believe that any one of you could have been up here to commemorate all your accomplishments. The only other thing that would have probably gotten me up here would probably be if the valedictorian's last name needed a rhyme with dork, because we've all learned from Joe and Sean that Clark and dork rhyme so well. Thank you. Anyways, in light of all your achievements, I want to pay you all back and tell you guys that you do matter, just like you showed me that I matter. Every single one of you is important and meaningful in this world, and you have all proved that you have the capacity to change a life. If you attack the next stage of your life with this confidence in yourself and that same passion to use what you have to benefit others, then I know that you guys will pass through that scary world with flying colors. Also, thank your families, your parents, grandparents, siblings, and everyone else for helping to mold you into these outstanding people. Then thank them again when you move into one of their basements in 4 years. In conclusion, I love you all, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Not that any of you ever need luck. Thank you.
Leave it to Brandon to break his first rule of high school at his graduation ceremony by littering. And losing my page. Now we have the tradition of reflections of the senior class president and the passing of the time key. I would now like to recognize Carly Russell, president of the class of the 2014, who will pass the time key and offer reflections to the coming senior class of 2015. Carly?
Good evening, class of 2014 and company. I'm the last student you'll be hearing from tonight, so I promise to make this as long and drawn out as possible because it's not like you're waiting for anything. I guess I should start by saying thank you to all of you for whatever prompted you to vote for the shy, troll-haired girl freshman year and whatever else kept you voting for me the following years. It's been a crazy ride, but I wouldn't change a thing. Not even the baseball T-class t-shirts from sophomore year that went over so well. Being your class president was awesome. I'm so lucky I got to serve the best class Attleboro High has seen in decades, centuries, and probably a millennia. I'm deeply humbled and honored to be a part of the class of 2014. So much so that I spent a long time staring at a blank computer screen trying to figure out what to say. I don't know a lot about life, and like most of you, I've never graduated high school before. So my experience and advice is pretty minimal. So let me just tell you a little bit about what it's been like being a part of class 2014 for me. Freshman year was terrifying. Everything about those first few weeks freshman year was just terrifying. The size of the school and how the upperclassmen towered over us and the way room numbers in A building made absolutely no sense because 206A and 220A were right next to each other. It was rough. But somehow, at some point, this massive building started to feel a lot smaller and a little safer. We got into our routines, found a few friends, and we survived. Who can forget the first spirit rally we ever went to and how unprepared we were for the mania that is Rally Day? The enthusiasm and support we showed each other every year on that holy day in November was amazing. It didn't matter if the kid eating the pie was your best friend or your worst enemy, you cheered him on wholeheartedly. Even though it was only made up of silly games, winning a spirit rally was like conquering the world. And I am extremely proud to say that by senior year, our class had successfully conquered the world a few times over. Whether it be our sports teams, clubs, student government, academics, or spirit activities, all we do is win and support each other along the way. Kurt Vonnegut said in a book which I still resent having to spend my entire winter break reading, that true terror is to wake up one morning and discover that your high school class is running the country. I personally disagree. If AHS class of 2014 ran the country, it'd be fine. I mean, as long as I still get to be president, but have Sawyer and Bono do all the technical stuff, it'd be great. This class encompasses some of the greatest people I've ever met, and I have no doubt that one day we will take over the world with our hard work, determination, and drive to help and improve the lives of others. We are the next doctors, lawyers, nuclear physicists, celebrity dog chefs, extreme couponers, and so much more. High school was supposed to prepare us for the real world, but did anybody bother preparing the real world for us? Well, class of 2014, we started from the bottom, now we're here, and as tradition goes, I have to pass down the key to the school to 2015 class president Ross Killian. Ross, a year ago I was given this key, well, a less sparkly version of the key. As you can see, I sparkled it a little bit. But nonetheless, I can say from experience two things. This key does not, in fact, open any door in Attleboro High School, so do not bother trying. And two, life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop to look around for a while, you'll miss it. And senior year is no exception. Okay. I'll leave you with this final quote from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. AHS class of 2014, you've made me feel powerful, smart, relevant, funny, dumb, but mostly you've made me feel loved. And I hope at some point you've all felt the same. I hope you had the time of your lives. Thank you, and I'll see you at the union. Stay classy.
Thank you, Carly. It is now my pleasure to present the Metcalf Awards. Miss Helen W. Metcalf was both an English teacher and an assistant principal at Attleboro High School from 1880 to 1898. In 1919, the Pierian Club, a literary and social club which she helped to establish, created an award of a $5 gold piece to be given to the student receiving the highest grade in English during 4 years of high school. In loving memory of his sister, Mr. Lewis P. Metcalf established a trust fund to supplement the awards. Currently, scholarships are awarded in 6 academic areas. Receiving the Metcalf Award for second prize in foreign language is Timothy Cow. Winning the Metcalf Award for first prize in foreign language is Amanda Alfani. The Metcalf Award for second prize in social studies goes to Scott Freelander. For first prize in social studies, Harry Walsh. For second prize in science, David Austin. For first prize in science, Allison Cameron. For second prize in mathematics, Benjamin Akers. For first prize in mathematics, Jessica Wynn. Second prize in academic excellence, Maxwell Lancaster. For first prize in academic excellence, Elizabeth Clifton. For second place in English, Brandon Clark. And for first prize in English, Carissa Hand. And now, Assistant Principal Mrs. Jean Hickox will make the announcement of the graduates. Diplomas will be presented by members of the Attleboro School Committee, starting with Chairman David Murphy.
watching them. Amanda Alfani. Carly Nicole Russell. Olivia Ann Mayer. Timothy Min Cow. Brandon David Clark. Elizabeth Mowry Clifton. Benjamin Warren Akers. Allison Catherine Cameron. Lindsay Nicole Campion. Sarah Coakley. Alicia Michelle Cummings. At this time, would Ms. Franzito join us? Scott Isaac Freelander. Carissa Marie Hand. Chansakata Hang. Madeline Sophia Varga Jacoby. Jemima Sue Johnson. Elliot Taylor Kelly. Charlotte Rose Kerwin. Maxwell Scott Lancaster. Miranda Mary McGowan. Avinoam Shalom Narenberg. Jessica Wynn. Sarah Catherine Pariseau. Hannah Catherine Smith. Olivia Marie Smith. Matthew Joseph Solarchik. Harry Goddard Walsh. Emily Joanna Adame. Alexandra Akinyemi. Ashley Ann Albrecht. Jacob Daniel Raymond Allard. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Would Ms. Diane Sawyer please come up? Tyler Max Edward Anderson. Tristan Gregory Archer. Christine Marie Arsenault. Erin Louise Arvise. Patrick Robert Aucoin. David Michael Austin. Owen Patrick Bakiaki. Ryan Donald Bailey. Melina Marie Baker. Jonathan Barbosa. Laura May Baradas. Great job. Daniel Arusho Batista. Alexandra Marley Bazil. Stanley Ralph Bobrun. Brandon David Becker. Brandy Lee Belanger. Riley Marie Benoit. Kieran Daniel Best O'Donnell. Jonathan Samuel Birmingham. Lauren Nicole Bizier. Amanda Page Blackington. Jacob Ryan Blackington. Rachel Lynn Blackwell. Kyle David Blanchett. Joshua David Blessing. Ashley Elizabeth Bahorkis. Kyle David Bolins. Evan Joseph Borges. Ryan Christopher Bowen. Matthew Thomas Bray. Mackenzie Pearl Brennan. Christian Xavier Bridges. Brandon Alexander Bristow. Thomas Paul Broder. Haley Catherine Bono. Erin Marielle Burke. Thomas Edward Burns. Stephen Daniel Burrell. Thank you, Ms. Sawyer. Would Ms. Zito please return? Hector Jovan Cabezudo. Cassandra Liz Caminero. Andrew Stephen Campion. Shayna Lynn Candelet. Michael Russell Canada. Emily Margaret Capper. Giovanni Antonio Carcamo. Andrew Joseph Corello. Samantha Jordan Carley. Laura Elizabeth Case. Megan Elizabeth Cassidy. Matthew Paul Chadbourne. Shatara Monet Charles. Sakib Chaudhry. Rebecca Dora Chauncey. Nathan James Childs. Lorenzo Sinali. Thomas William Coppathorne. Ryan Christopher Corno. Lionel Robert Couturier. Thomas Douglas Cox. Courtney Marie Crawford. Jacqueline Marie Diaguano. John James Daly. Patrick Shane Daly. Samantha Marie Dart. Ashley Marie Da Silva. Caitlin Elizabeth Davis. Joseph Bashar Daratani. Haley Catherine DeLuca. Darren Robert Demora. Alyssa Michaela DeQuattro. Elliot Lewis DeVerns. Daniel Christopher Devlin Jr. Megan Elizabeth DiFieri. Blake Douglas Dion. Thank you, Ms. Zito. Would Laurie Scales please step up? Nicholas Leonard DiPanfilo. Roxana Alexandra Donis. Patrick David Drew. Cheyenne Drinkwater. Sean Michael Duarte. Aiden Matthew DeBow. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Murphy back up to present to his mentees, who I will call up to get together. Ms. Jasmine DeMornay, Ms. Junie DeMornay. Patrick Bailey Dunn. David Robert Duquette. Tyler Stephen Dutremble. Brielle Irene Eaton. Benjamin Jaron Edson. Stephen Excellent. Cameron Allen Farrell. Would Mr. Larson please come up for the next diploma? Tanya Lynn Fernandez. Chelsea Renee Ferreira. Katie Carolina Figuera. Kira Lee Fitton. Beverly Angel Marie Fleury. Max Vaughn Foken. Patrick Ryan Foley. Chelsea Lee Fontaine. Trenton Mitchell Fontaine. Nicholas Ernest Ford. Evelina Denise Francisco. Madison Ray Fulton. Rachel Rose Furlong. Robert Michael Gammons, Jr. Marcus Anthony Garms. Terrence Ursolo Gathers, Jr. Renee Cherie Gamond. Austin Daniel Ganat. Alyssa Rose Germain. Nicole Germain Giannatelli. Christiana Raisha Gears. Jacob Thomas Gill. Allison Lynn Gingras. Stephen Paul Gukin. Kyle Thomas Gordon. Danielle Emily Grady. Ashley Morgan Greenleaf. Haley Marie Grenier. Thank you, Mrs. Scales. At this time, would Mr. James Storrs please come up? Owen Taylor Grimes. Rachel Teresa Ginden. Shane William Halbin. Megan Kelly Handy. Mackenzie Elliott Hannigan. Samuel Joseph Harrington. Shannon Elizabeth Harris. Alexa Rose Harvey. Dylan Michael Hahn. Alexis Elizabeth Hayden. Chanel Hang. Edvin Elisier Hernandez. Mary Mar Hernandez. Shonda Hang. Caitlin Marie Hickey. Joshua Jacob Hicks. Matthew J. Hodges. Melissa Lee Holbrook. Colin James Hood. Kayla Rose Houle. Jerry Bin Huang. Caitlin Marie Hall. Ethan Jacob Samuel Hurd. Cameron William Hutchian. Kristen Lynn Infante. Erin Stephanie Jetty. Jasmine Delisa Johnson. Caitlin Hope Johnson. Casey Amanda Jolly. Leo Dean Jubert. Caitlin Marie Jump. Philip Kadick. Allison Marie Kane. Ningesi Patrice Elizabeth Kinko Pufang. Paige Lynn Kirby. Joseph Sylvanus Kaisermore III. Stephen Daniel Knox. Tyler Matthew Kowalski. Jordan Michaela Kazaka. Zachary John Coos. Evan Robert Lacasse. Taylor Rain LaCourse. Kristen Nicole Lane. Craig Devin Langevin. Richard Joseph LaPalme. Stephen David LaPalme Jr. Brianna Lynn LaPlume. Zachary Francis Larkin. Jared Brady Lee. Ronald Bradley Lee. Stephanie Marie Leon. Rachel Elizabeth Latorno. Mark Robert Lincoln. Thomas James Lincoln. Matthew Michael Lindsay. Darvin Alexander Lopez. Andrew Michael Lee. Victoria Lee Lopez. Julia Hope Lubner. Kayla Ann Lumbra. Brian William Lucier. Eric David Machowski. Rachel Ann Maddock. Ryan Charles Magakian. Dakota Jade Mamoli. Rachel Carolyn Marcocchio. Jessica Aura Marcure. Ashley Marie Marrera. Kevin Richard Markham. Kelsey Aaron Marshall. William Arthur Martindale III. Christian Misael Martinez. Leah Amanda Massewer. Benjamin Matthew McAndrews. Jordan James McDonald. Jared Paul McKerney. Matthew Sean McKerney. Ashley K. McEwen. Taylor Janae McLean. Renee Christine McNary. Thank you, Mr. Larson. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Mr. Soares. Mr. Larson, would you return? Good. Daniel Anthony Medeiros. Lilius Allison Medeiros. Danielle Marie Melfi. Cindy Lucilee Mendez. Kyle Jeffrey Mercier. Cameron Robert Merritt. Philip Richard Mashaud III. Danielle Eileen Mesere. Amy Lois Milholland. Autumn Rain Moitoso. Melissa Montoya. Aaron Michael Moore. Edgar Dario Morales. Patrick David Morin. Joseph Albert Morrow. Sandra Jacqueline Moreno. Derek Robert Morin. Luke Samuel Morrison. Allison Anna Munzen. Jose Wilfredo Mungia. Kyle James Murphy. Chad Nathan Nato. Kelsey Amanda Naismith. Mamanding Naso. Thomas Leroy Nelson III. Nathan Scott Newton. Sean William Newen. Garte Nuwan. Megan Nicole Nye. Caroline Patricia O'Brien. Manuel Abelardo Oliva. Sebastian Bailey Olivier. Keenan Patrick O'Melia. Samuel San Rafael O'Neill. Emily Kim Ortega. Karen Alexandra Ortiz. Markinson Ulysses Oscar. Nice job. Alyssa Marie O'Toole. Cade Russell Page. Jason Thomas Panici. Thank you, Mr. Larson. Would Mr. Withers please come up? Natalia Nina Papa Concepcion. Erica Rose Parento. Mackenzie Page Parker. Shira Ann Pascal. Riddhi Piyush Patel. Kevin Matthew Patton Jr. Catherine Marie Paul. Emily Ann Pelletier. Christopher Arujo Pereira. Luis Alberto Pereira Jr. Kenny Zachary Perez. Zaylee Janelle Perez. Cameron James Perkins. Andrew William Peralt. Emily Elizabeth Pierce. Devin Garrett Place. Brandon Matthew Please. Amber Dawn Polite. Angela Mary Perazzo. Edwin Josue Portillo. Randy Orlando Portillo. Corey Arthur Pove. Carrie Michael Pratt. Jessica True Precinct. Brent Peter Prue. Megan Catherine Polster. James Brian Purrier Jr. Caitlin Michelle Qualter. Mason Alexander Ramos. Mariah Lee Ramsey. Alex Figueredo Rayo. Sean Robert Reardon. Anna Paula Ribeiro. Cameron William Richard. Chad Lawrence Ravello. Brittany Ellen Roby. Alicia Marie Rocket. Janessa Marie Rollins Santos. Thank you, Mr. Withers. Ms. Singer, please come up. Taylor Michelle Rose. Rebecca Lee Ross. Tina Diana Lynn Ross. Joseph Michael Rosses. Shannon Christine Ryder. Kimberly Elizabeth Salguero. Richie Rathana Sam. Nafisa Sarah Samasia. Michael Charles Sands. Matthew Donald Sandquist. Henry Edward Santarpio. Diana Sarr. Michael Edward Savard. Olivia Marie Schroeder. Shelby Lynn Schultz. Alexandra May Shadoni. Kevin Alexander Semple. Melissa Kelly Sheehan. Eva Rose Schumann Distasio. David Elliott Sidman. Connor McBride Silva. Joshua Robert Silva. Dara Edward Sim. Nakia May Mackenzie Simus. Danelle Ann Simpson. Johnny Willis Simpson. Christian Gregory Skiba. Kenneth Michael Souza. Anne Michelle Spence. Angelia Michelle Sprague. Sophia Shrey. Zachary James St. Pierre. Rachel Lee Stevens. Mackenzie Faith Sullivan. Jessica Lee Svensson. Cameron Michael Sweeney. Travis Theron Tangway. Brandon Michael Titu. Prayas Samir Tucker. Thank you, Mrs. Singer. Mr. Murphy, would you please return? David Anthony Thatcher, Jr. Brenna Laura Thoreau. Catherine Marie Terrio. Madison Jean Thomas. Samantha Ting. Alanis Michelina Terabasi. Julia Nicole Torres. Katrina Tihan Tran. Abigail Renee Olbrich. Devon Chumnet Un. Drew John Valancourt. Malice Elizabeth Van. Jenna Mariah Vargas. Christian Julio Velos. Keely Renee Vayu. Anthony Francis Vieira IV. Noah John Vincents. Chelsea Jordan Viveros. Haley Frances Lynn Wade. Shannon Elizabeth Walsh. Timothy James Walsh. Johanna Fox Ward. Paul Scott Warmington. Ryan James Welch. Mitchell Sean Whittingham. Andrew Scott Wilkins. Aaron Herbert Williams. Alex Lee Wood. Owen Sylvan Wright. Nice job. That's not so long.
Let's give them one more round of applause. Mr. Sheehan, based on the recommendation of the faculty, I stand here before you to present the class of 2014. They are deserving of all the benefits, pleasures, and responsibilities that this Attleboro High School diploma represents. They await your certification.
Woo! No, Scott, that's not it. Wow, what a great day. By the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Attleboro School Committee, I hereby recognize that all graduates here today have met all legal and state requirements. I now declare you graduates of Attleboro High School in the year 2014. Congratulations.
Woo! Not yet. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners at AACS, the Sun Chronicle. I'd also like to thank Attleboro's OIT department, as well as Attleboro's Facilities Department, for putting on a great ceremony tonight. Please give them a round of applause. To parents and guests, please remain in your seats until the students have exited the stadium. Students will meet their friends and families on the field hockey field. Graduates, please move your tassels from right to left, signifying you have graduated. Congratulations.